W8VPV. Repeater. W8VPV. Repeater. net.
Good evening, and welcome to the Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club's Monday evening transmission of Amateur Radio Newsline. My name is Russ, and my call is KDA-VYT. But for this presentation of Newsline, I will be using the club call Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor. Without further ado, this is Amateur Radio Newsline.
Amateur Radio Newsline report number 2453 with a release date of Friday, November 1st, 2024 to follow in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The following is a QST. Delays announced for new changes to UK amateur licenses. Hams plan on-air tributes for wireless pioneers in India and Brazil, and a New York club remembers a silent king who is there from the very start. All this and more as Amateur Radio Newsline report number 2453 comes your way right now.
From around the world, this is Newsline, Amateur Radio's independent, on-the-air news and bulletin service. Now, reporting from Union, Kentucky, here's Neil Rapp, W8VPV.
Our top story comes to us from the UK, where ongoing changes to amateur radio licenses have come to a halt. Additional changes set for later this year have been delayed as the result of what the regulator calls system development issues. We have the details from Jeremy Boot, G4NJH.
Hams in the UK who've been expecting additional changes in the licensing system before the end of this year are going to have to wait a bit longer for them to take effect, according to the regulator Ofcom. A recent announcement by Ofcom said that phases 2 and 3 of the licensing platform modifications were being delayed instead of going forward later this year and in early 2025. The planned changes include limits being set on the number of call signs an individual amateur can hold, in this case only one personal license per individual. This will require hams who advance to the next license class to surrender their previous license. Ofcom had hoped to introduce the M8 and M9 call signs for those passing the intermediate license exam to replace the 2 series, and as an optional change for intermediate license holders currently holding the 2E0 and 2E1 call signs. It's expected that at some unknown point, however, Ofcom will take back all numeral 2 call sign prefixes. Also, when these changes take effect, hams will be permitted to change their call sign, but not more than once every 5 years. The delay also affects changes to the application process for special events, which Ofcom has said will become simpler, fully automated and quicker. Ofcom did not give a date for when these changes would go forward. This is Jeremy Boot, G4NJH.
As Cyclone Dana descended upon India recently, hams were deployed to keep messages getting through in case the information network was knocked out. We have more on that story from Jim Meechan, ZL2BHF.
As eastern India prepared to be battered by Cyclone Dana on the night of October 23rd, amateur radio operators were getting in place to ensure lines of communications stayed open in the states of Odisha and West Bengal. Relief workers were deployed and 1.5 million people were evacuated and moved out of harm's way. The West Bengal Radio Club quickly established 2 amateur radio mobile stations at the request of the district magistrate. The hams also set up 3 base radio operations at governmental offices powered with backup battery power in case the weather took out the information infrastructure. With its arrival, the cyclone brought wind speeds of 100 to 110 kilometers per hour or 62 to 68 miles per hour, snapping power lines and uprooting trees. Airports and schools were shut down. The cyclone's wind gusts reached as high as 120 kilometers per hour or 75 miles per hour before weakening. Early reports from officials in Odisha indicated that there was no loss of life. Unfortunately, 1 person was reported killed in Bengal. This is Jim Meechan, ZL2BHF.
India's foremost wireless pioneer is once again front and center in a month-long on-air tribute that lasts until mid-December. Want to work the station? Jason Daniels, VK2LAW, tells us how.
For the past 17 years, Data, the U2 DSI, has celebrated the pride of wireless communication in India. Born on the 30th of November 1858, Jagadish Chandra Bose was a scientist who gained global respect for his work in botany, physics, and electromagnetism. He melded the many worlds of science in different ways to bring various discoveries to light. According to Britannica, his experiments in the 1890s with very short radio waves would eventually contribute insights for later researchers working in the realm of solid-state physics. He is perhaps best known among India's amateurs as the father of wireless communication. His discoveries were made with homebrew equipment. The scientist, who died in 1937, has touched the heart and imagination of Data, who is once again calling CQ as Alpha Uniform to Juliet Charlie Bravo to honour him. This year, he'll be putting the special event call sign on the air from the 15th of November through to the 16th of December. For more details, see the QRZ page for AU2JCB. This is Jason Daniels, VK2LAW.
Although many amateur radio special events focus on the earliest pioneering efforts that established communication via telegraphy, hams in Brazil are celebrating the 125th anniversary of the first wireless transmission of the human voice. The inventor-scientist was a Catholic priest. We hear more about him from Jeremy Boot, G4NJH.
Listen throughout the month of November for PR5LM on the air. The L and the M represent the name of Padre Landel de Moura, an ordained priest and inventor fascinated with the concept of transmitting the human voice and later images wirelessly. Before his death in 1928, Padre de Moura had successfully transmitted both music and voice on the electromagnetic spectrum, a feat celebrated throughout Brazil since his accomplishment in 1899. The declaration of National Amateur Radio Day in Brazil on the 5th of November honors his work, as well as the 1924 government decree that established regulation of amateur radio stations in Brazil. By then, the priest had already been granted a U.S. patent whilst he was in New York City in 1904 for what was known as a wave transmitted. It used a form of modulation that we know today as amplitude modulation. Amateurs in Brazil will be active on all the HF bands, including CW, SSB, RITI, and FT8, and hope to make contact as well via the QO100 satellite. They hope each contact will pay tribute to the man who successfully navigated that delicate territory balancing religion and science. This is Jeremy Boot, G4NJH.
The world's shortwave listeners and DXers have been grieving the loss of a great friend. We hear more about him from Graham Kemp, VK4BB.
Anchor P
Peterson was devoted to DX listening, shortwave radio, and to others who loved them too. Shortly after his death in Denmark was reported in late October, hams, shortwave listeners, and other friends flocked to social media to share their memories of a man they recalled with fondness and respect. The radio enthusiast played a significant role in the Danish Shortwave Club International, which he served for a time as chairman. He was also editor of the Domestic Broadcasting Survey and Tropical Bands Monitor. Anchor's voice could be heard as one of the presenters of the club's international shortwave news and music program, DX Window. The club disbanded in 2016. Anchor was remembered as having founded the European DX Council in June of 1967. The council's membership eventually grew to include DX clubs and listeners in Asia and elsewhere in the Pacific region. This is Graham Kemp, VK4BB.
In the latest blow to Boeing, one of its Intelsat communications satellites blew up in late October while in geostationary orbit and has been declared a total loss. The fragments are being tracked by the U.S. Space Force and Roscosmos, but U.S. officials said that they have detected no immediate threats to other satellites. The development is yet another setback for Boeing, which is already dealing with a variety of issues, including its troubled Starliner spacecraft, which NASA brought back to Earth without its two-person test flight crew on board because of thruster failures. No cause for the explosion was disclosed. The satellite is frequently used for internet, telephone, and satellite TV and radio broadcast signals. According to published reports, its launch in 2016 had been delayed by 3 months after it developed problems with its primary thruster. Time for you to identify your station. We are the Amateur Radio Newsline, heard on bulletin stations around the world, including the K6 PVR repeater in Ventura, California on Sundays at 6:30 p.m. local time. A Massachusetts ham and a North Dakota Amateur Radio Club have been declared top scorers for their participation in Hamsi's Solar Eclipse QSO Party this past April. Here's Dave Parks, WB8ODF.
Congratulations to Dennis Egan, W1UE, who claimed the highest score in the category of single op during Hamsi's Solar Eclipse QSO Party. He shares the glory with the Sierras Valley Amateur Radio Club, K0AJW, in North Dakota, which claimed the #1 spot in the multi-op category. Hamsi, the Citizen Science Investigation Organization, made the announcement on its website on the 24th of October and thanked all amateur radio operators who got on the air. Those QSOs helped generate data for space physics research about the eclipse's impact on the HF radio spectrum. And of course, that makes science itself the biggest winner. This is Dave Parks, WB8ODF.
A hydrogen balloon from Arizona has ended its months of silence with transmissions that were picked up by a ground station in Antarctica. John Williams, VK4JJW, has more on what happened.
Many months after it marked its first anniversary of orbiting the Earth, the WB6RER Pico balloon was spotted over the Antarctic. Germany's Antarctic station, Neumeier 3, the DP0GVN/1, provided the good news following a period of concern when the balloon appeared to have gone silent for 5 months. The October 15th spot by the Antarctic Scientific Research Station showed that the balloon was flying at an altitude of 45,735 feet with its solar panel measuring 3.88 volts. Weighing 11 grams, the hydrogen gas-filled balloon was launched in May of 2023 from Golden Valley, Arizona by the Wallapai Amateur Radio Club. One of its greatest challenges during its year in orbit has been to overcome damage to its 20-meter dipole antenna. This is John Williams, VK4JJW.
In the world of DX, Alex K6VHF will be using the call sign K6VHF/HR9 from Roatan Island, Honduras, IOTA number NA057, from the 3rd through the 9th of November, operating mainly digital modes on various bands. See QRZ.com for QSL details. The 4U1 GSC Amateur Radio Club is using the special call sign for an event commemorating the 30th anniversary of the United Nations Global Service Center in Brindisi, Italy. Listen for operators between the 15th of November to the end of the year. QSL via 9A2AA. Mikado JI5RPT is on the air as JD1BLY from Shishijima, Ogasawara, Iota number AS031 from the 7th to the 10th of November using FT8, CW, and sideband. Be listening on 40 through 6 meters and through the satellites. See QRZ.com for QSL details. The ONZ Oskust Radio Club, ON6HC, is using the call sign OT80CLM from the 1st through the 11th of November. This call sign recognizes the Canadian Liberation March, which marks the liberation of the Belgian town of Nokke-Heist from German occupation on November 1st, 1944, and honors the soldiers who were a part of it. See QRZ.com for QSL information. Our final story takes us to Robert Moses State Park, a beachfront park on Long Island, New York. This is where the Atlantic Ocean meets the island's southern shore, and it's where one amateur radio club is preparing a special event tribute to a silent key who had been one of the club's founders and presidents. We hear about this special event and this special radio operator from Paul Brown, WD9 GCO.
Even long after he became legally blind in 2016, Walt Grosser, W2TE, would still find a ham friend who could bring him to Robert Moses State Park so he could experiment with his many antennas by the ocean and indulge in one of his favorite obsessions, DXing. Licensed since November of 1948, Walt was the son of Raymond Grosser, 3WB, and the father of John Grosser, W2ATE. He was an avid and proficient CW operator who belonged to the Long Island DX Association and the Long Island CW Club. Walt loved boating, aviation, and all things Marconi, traveling with his friend Tom, KA2D, to the World Radio Sport Team Championship in Bologna, Italy, to make a kind of pilgrimage to the radio pioneer's birthplace in 2023. This past July, at the age of 92, Walt became a silent key. His legacy includes the Great South Bay Amateur Radio Club in Babylon, New York. He was present at the first organizational meeting in the summer of 1974, months before the club even chose its current name. He eventually served as the group's second president, succeeding the founding president, Bob Myers, K2TV. On Saturday, November 9th, Great South Bay members will be on the HF bands from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. local time. Although they'll be calling QRZ with the club call sign W2GSB, with every QSO, their thoughts will be of W2TE, a founder and a friend forever missed. This is Paul Brown, WD9 GCO. If a good day of radio is like poetry to you, pick up a pencil and join the Amateur Radio Newsline Haiku Challenge. Share your experience by sending an original haiku to us here at Newsline. Use the entry form on our website, arnewsline.org, and please follow the rules for writing your 3-line haiku. Sorry, but we cannot accept any entries that aren't written in traditional haiku form. Share with fellow listeners the poetry that is inspired by your ham radio experience. With thanks to Amateur Radio Daily, AminaharaRadio.com, AMSAT News Service, Bob Myers, K2TV, Donna, VU2DSI, David BR, K7DB, Engadget, European DX Council, 425DX News, Great South Bay Amateur Radio Club, Kathmandu Post, Landlidmore.org, Millennium Post, Ofcom, QRZ.com, Radio World, ShortwaveRadio.de, The Statesman, and you, our listeners. That's all from the Amateur Radio Newsline. We remind our listeners that Amateur Radio Newsline is an all-volunteer, non-profit organization that incurs expenses for its continued operation. If you wish to support us, please visit our website at arnewsline.org and know that we appreciate you all. We also remind our listeners that if you like our newscast, please leave us a 5-star rating wherever you subscribe to us. For now, with Karen Eve Murray, KD2GUT at the news desk in New York, and our news team worldwide, I'm Neil Rapp, W8VPV in Union, Kentucky, saying 7-3. And as always, we thank you for listening. Amateur Radio Newsline is copyright 2024, all rights reserved.
This concludes our Monday evening transmission of Amateur Radio Newsline. Net to start in about 10 minutes.
W8VPV repeater. W8VPV. Repeater. W8VPV. Repeater. PL110.9.
Good evening. Calling all amateur radio operators. Welcome to the Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club Monday night VHF UHF net. My name is John, and my call is W03X. However, for the purposes of this net, I'll be using the club call Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor. This is an open directed net. All amateur radio operators are invited and encouraged to check in. You do not have to be a club member. All traffic will go through net control, and since emergency traffic may break in at any time, please leave a brief pause between transmissions. The purpose of this net is to bring together all amateur radio operators for the exchanging of amateur-related ideas and information, to enhance net operating practices, and to keep members up to date about club happenings. This net meets here every Monday evening at 8:30 p.m. local time, preceded by Amateur Radio Newsline at 8:01. We will start with announcements and then ask for check-ins from any officer or member who has an announcement of general interest to the club. Once that is complete, I'll take check-ins, call signs only, 5 at a time, and confirming each call. Then I'll correspond with those 5 check-ins and ask for 5 more until the activity slows down. Then I'll go 1 at a time. If you're a regular participant, I'll probably recognize you by call sign. If not, please give your call repeated phonetically, followed by your name and your location. When all check-ins have been corresponded with, I will repeat the announcements and then give one last call for check-ins. We also operate a band exploration net at 9:30 p.m. after this net. Please join us if you have the privileges and equipment. The approximate frequency tonight is 50.270 megahertz upper sideband. Okay, here are some announcements. The next regular meeting of the Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club will be Wednesday of next week. That's November 13th. And we will meet in person and on Zoom at 7:30 p.m. The in-person meeting is at the Pilgrim United Church of Christ, which is on Broad Boulevard, but you get to the meeting by going into the parking lot, which is on 2nd Street south of Broad Boulevard, and then the entrance is off the corner of the parking lot. To get the link for Zoom, go to our website at www.cfarc.org, and you will see the link on that calendar on the right side. On November 17th, that's Sunday, at 1:30 p.m., a volunteer exam session starts. The test starts at 1:30 p.m., so get there early with your identification and your form and your FRN. This is a LARO exam, so there's no fee for the test, but there's the FCC fee if applicable to your situation. Pre-register for that, and there's a deadline for the pre-registration time, so take care of that. Go to register, go to our webpage, www.cfarc.org. Click on the word education, and that page, the page that comes up, will have a yellow bar there in the middle about the examination. If not for yourself, let others that may not have a license yet know that session is going to be on November 17th. Then on November 28th, that's Thanksgiving Day, is the Geneseret Home Run for the Homeless, and that, like I said, is on Thanksgiving Day, but it's early in the morning, and so if you have participated in that in previous years, then you will be contacted by Artie, N8RKA, to verify that you will be available for that event. Then on Thursday, not a Wednesday, Thursday, December 12th, is the Cuyahoga Falls Christmas dinner. It will be at the New Era Cafe, and there will probably be a link showing up on the website or in emails to determine how many are going to attend that. Again, that's Thursday, December 12th. And watch your email and so forth, and the website for announcements about the Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club clubhouse activities, which we did have one last week where we were able to get 4 ropes, thin ropes, up into the trees, which we will use those to string antennas from one tree to another. Those will be wire antennas, of course. Okay, that's all that I have in the way of announcements. So this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor asking for officers or members who have an announcement of general interest to the club.
Alpha Charlie 8 X-Ray Oscar.
Alpha Charlie 8 X-Ray Oscar. Go ahead, Vince.
Well, it's too late for the November issue of the newsletter. It will be published before the meeting. But anybody that wants to contribute should think about it starting now before the end of the month to get their articles written and submitted for the newsletter. John, that's all I got. Check me in. Alpha Charlie 8 X-Ray Oscar. Back to net.
Okay, Vince, thanks for that information, and I have you checked in. And I will repeat that at the end of the net. Okay, are there any other officers or members who have an announcement of general interest to the club? Please call Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor now.
KE8TQR.
KE8TQR, go ahead, Keith.
Good evening, John. I have an announcement. I'm going to be lifting my tower up into the vertical position as it stands right now anyway, this Saturday. So I was just putting a call out there for any members or non-members who may be listening. If they would like to stop by, maybe lend a hand, or just gaze at the wonder of lifting a tower, they should feel free to stop over. My information is all up to date on QRZ if you're interested, and hope to see you there Saturday. I will try to let, I've already talked to Frank. I will let him know if the day changes, maybe he can get it out to everybody. But as it stands now, it'll be Saturday, probably 10 o'clock in the morning or after. KE8TQR, back to net control.
Okay, Keith, very good. Yeah, that sounds like an interesting operation there. I would be there, but we are going on. We're going out of town that day, so I'll announce that again at the end of the net, so people can correspond with you to get the arrangement for the time. Very good. Thanks for checking in, and have a good evening. Okay, are there any other members or officers who have an announcement of general interest to the club? Or non-members, you don't have to be a member to make an announcement. Okay, not hearing any. This is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor asking for check-ins. Let me know if you are in or in and out.
K8HMS.
K8HMS. K8HMS, I have you on here. We'll get back with you in a moment there, Steve. Another check-in, please.
November 8 Alpha Charlie Papa, N8 ACP, Chris, Cadillac Hill, Akron.
N8 ACP, I have you. I will get back with you. Another check-in, please.
Kilo Echo 8, Uniform Lima Charlie, KE8 ULC, Kurt.
KE8 ULC, Kurt. We'll get back with you in a moment. Another check-in, please.
Kilo Echo 8, Yankee Lima Lima. This is Brian, in and out.
KE8YLL, Brian, I have you in and out. Thanks for checking in, 73, and have a good evening. Another check-in, please.
K8PU.
X-Ray Mike.
K8PU, I have you, Larry, and there was somebody got covered over by you. Come back again.
Kilo Foxtrot 8, Alpha X-Ray Mike. It's Rick, in and out.
KFA AXM, I have you in and out. Thanks for checking in, 73, and have a good evening. Okay, let's go back up to Steve, K8HMS. Go ahead, Steve, with your comments. This is Whiskey 8 Victor, Papa Victor.
Hi, John, Nanette, W8VPV, K8HMS. Good evening. Good to hear everybody. And yeah, I can hear Larry good tonight. For some reason, there's times I don't hear him real well. But anyway, just loving this weather. Gonna stay pretty nice for the next few days. So other than that, not much going on. Been getting on the air a little bit, but not much. For some reason, just conditions have been dead down here for me. So I don't do radio work. I go out and work in the yard. Hi. Anyway, back to you, John. Thanks for running the net. And let me know where the 930 is. W8VPV, K8HMS.
Yes, Steve, very good. Okay, yeah, the 930 net is on 6 meters this evening. It's on 50.270 megahertz upper sideband.
Okie, I will certainly try to be there.
Okay, hope to hear you there. We'll clear with K8HMS, and we'll go to Chris, N8ACP. Go ahead, Chris, with your comments.
Hello, John. Good to hear you, and all on the net here on the Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club repeater. Let's see, not this past weekend, but the previous weekend I did work my favorite contest on CQ worldwide, single sideband contest. It's the world's biggest contest, I think, by number of participants. And I put in a pretty good effort, 564 QSOs, 83 countries when I ran the log through a German analyzing program, 83 separate countries in less than 30 hours, and a score of 462,362 points. That's working 100 watts in a wire, low power. So had a good time, and it was more than triple my winning score last year, although last year I was in the rookie category, so had to play with the big boys this year, so single operator, all band, low power. I don't think I won U.S. Call Area 8, but I should have placed within the top 3, so we'll see how things shake out when the raw scores come out. I usually have a very low error rate, so yeah, it is possible to work DXCC in one weekend. I didn't do it this past contest weekend, but it was a good time. And 10 meters is open every day, just a matter of how many people are on there and who you can hear. So this past weekend was also very good for the high bands. So that's all the news for me. W8VPV from November 8 Alpha Charlie Papa.
Very good, Chris. Sounds like you did pretty good there on that radio operation. So thanks for checking in, 73, and have a good evening. Okay, let's see here. KE8YLL was in and out. So we have Kurt, KE8ULC. Go ahead, Kurt, with your comments.
Well, I've been playing around with FT8 under JTDDX. I've learned that the Windows 10 likes to update. I've been a Linux user most of my life. And deep down in under sound, you had to go to advanced and under playback. I saw that it was reverting back to the actual computer sound card rather than the sound card for the cable to the radio. So that may be helpful to some people. I also am shouting out to a friend, John P., who's listening on a little Bofang that I gave him tonight. I've been encouraging him to try to take his exam and join the club. So a little shout out to John P. Back to John.
Okay, Kurt, very good. Hopefully John gets interested and takes the test. We have them at the Cuyahoga Falls Library from time to time, and there's one November 17th, but I don't think he'd be ready that soon. So keep a watch on that calendar. Okay, thanks for checking in, Kurt, 73, and have a good evening. Okay, so next is Larry, K8PU. Go ahead, Larry, with your comments. This is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor.
John, everybody on the net, not much to say here. This is one of the nicest falls seasons I can ever remember. One of the better ones. No snow, no moments of cold weather. Pretty darn nice. And oh my, hope it doesn't change too drastically on us here pretty quick. Well, anyways, there's something else I was going to bring up, but slipped my mind. Anyways, I'll catch you over 6 meters, 9:30, John. So back to you. W8VPV, K8PU.
Okay, Larry, I think you were going to mention that it was sunny and 78 degrees, and that's without the sun lamp. Is that right?
Oh, something relative to that. I just talking about mention how it's getting dark so soon now. It's just, it blows my mind. But, yeah, I can't complain about temperature. I don't know, if it's 78, it could be close to it. I can't see my thermometer. But, yeah, just the fact that it's 5:30 and dark already, I just, I like it better when it's 9:30 getting like that. Okay, back to you, John, K8PU.
Yeah, there's been a bill in the, let's see, it got it got through one of the Congress things, either the House or the Senate, but then it didn't proceed any farther than that to stay with daylight saving time. But then there's arguments. Some are saying that the if you do that, the sun doesn't come up till 8 o'clock in the winter, and that the standard time is more in synchronization with how we live, in that it's at the highest at 12 noon, and it's the sun is rising when we're rising to go to work and so forth, and but I would prefer the daylight saving time for the extended evening time, by 1 hour. So, well, that's my opinion, and we'll see what eventually happens with that. I think it was called the I forget what the bill was called, but it didn't proceed. Okay, so we'll hear you on. Hope to hear you on 6 meters there. So this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor asking for check-ins.
KE8ULA, just checking in. One for the numbers, so I'm in and out.
Okay, Leo, KE8ULA, I have you in and out. Thanks for checking in, 73, and have a good evening. Another check-in, please. KA8WTK. KA8WTK. We'll go one at a time here now. Go ahead, Bill, with your comments.
W8VPV, KA8WTK. Good evening, John, and everybody listening. Have enjoyed this weather very much. Margaret and I took this weekend and did a lot of maintenance around the house, especially in the yard. Had a huge pile of leaves down on the Devil Strip for the guys to pick up. They started their pickups today, and they're all gone. Hopefully that's pretty near the end. We got a couple oak trees yet to drop, and then we'll be done with the leaves. We haven't been able to do anything during the week. I retired, and now I seem to have a full-time job trying to take care of my dad's estate. So it's been keeping me busy. I haven't been on the air too much at all. But there's a light at the end of the tunnel, and I think we're getting there. So enjoy this weather while it lasts, folks. This is Ohio. Blink your eyes and it can change. W8VPV, KA8WTK. Everybody remember to vote tomorrow. Good night.
Thanks, Bill. Yeah, I'll be voting. Today was supposed to be for our neighborhood the day that the city would come by with their big leaf sucker equipment, and they didn't come by at all. I saw a couple of the trucks, but it doesn't look like they did anything anywhere in the neighborhood. And the weather forecast is for the wind to pick up a lot tomorrow, so it's going to blow those leaves around that everybody's so carefully piled up for today. So thanks for checking in, Bill, 73, and have a good evening. Okay, this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor asking for check-ins. Okay, I got the KE8, and I think it was KE8 Charlie something. Try it again. Go ahead.
Kilo Echo 8, Foxtrot, Kilo November.
That was good. Go ahead. If you have some comments, go ahead. Well, all I really have is out here in Fairlawn, they do pick up leaves, but you've got to have the bags. So they got to pick up 48 bags from us this morning. Yeah, here in Cuyahoga Falls, they don't pick up the bags anymore. We used to use those the tall paper bags that were available at the various hardware locations, and but now they want us to just pile them up on the tree lawn there, and not down in the curb, and then they come by with their machines and lift them up, but it didn't happen today. So hopefully they come early tomorrow before the wind picks up. Thanks for checking in, 73, and have a good evening. And I got your call good there, KE8FKN. Thanks for checking in. Okay, this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor asking for check-ins.
KVI, in and out.
KE8KVI, Ron, I have you in and out. Thanks for checking in, 73, and have a good evening. Another check-in, please.
WA8RCN.
WA8RCN. Go ahead with your comments.
Hi, John and Annette, everybody there, and give you another, bean for the pot, so to speak here. And yeah, I was hearing you about the leaf pickup. Boy, I hope they get them tomorrow. I've been putting them out there since the end of August, with the aspens coming down first and all the oaks, and God, I've got them 500 feet long in the frontage of the lot here, so and I don't know how deep they are, 4 or 5 foot or something. So, oh boy, we'll see what happens. Tomorrow is my pickup day, but who knows? Maybe they're just running behind in your area. Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I saw a white vehicle and a yellow one, and they just went by. I don't know where they went. I think the one was going to lunch, but they didn't have anything in the back part there. So I don't know. Maybe they're having equipment problems. So yours may be at least a day late also. So thanks for checking in, and have a good evening. This is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor asking for check-ins.
This is Kilo 8, Bravo, India.
K8BI, go ahead, Bill.
Good evening, John and Annette. Getting used to the time change here. And, I wasn't prepared. And the Leaf guys were here about 8 a.m. this morning in my neighborhood. And I saw them not too far from where you live, about 12:15 this afternoon. And their truck was so full, it was blowing out ground-up leaves all over the street, over where they were working. So they were making as much trouble as they were curing, kind of. And I looked on datetime.com, and sunrise in Cleveland on December 21st, that's pretty close to solstice, is 7:50 a.m. So if we stayed on saving time all year, that would push it back to 8:50 a.m. for sunrise. It's a little late for my taste, but anyways, everyone have a great week, and we'll see you next week. W8VPV, this is K8BI.
Yeah, very good, Bill. It was good seeing you the other day. I think that was yesterday. The young lady said that, I swung by on my way back and asked if you would have needed any assistance, and she said that it was all done. So that's good. You did okay there. So thanks for checking in, 73, and have a good evening. Okay, this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor asking for check-ins.
November 8th, Bravo Alpha Yankee,
N8BAY, Ralph and Stowe, in and out.
Okay, Ralph, N8BAY, I have you in and out. Thanks for checking in, 73, and have a good evening. This is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor asking for check-ins. This is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor with John W8VPV at the mic asking for check-ins. NAWS, good evening, Bill. I guess you're just in and out, right? Yeah, I'm doing fine, Bill, and good to hear from you there. I haven't heard you for a while, so 73, have a good evening, and hope to see you at a ham fest or something. Very good. Okay, this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor asking for check-ins. Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor asking for check-ins. Okay, not hearing any. I'll repeat the announcements. Okay, the newsletter editor is asking for articles. Now, it's too late for the November issue, but start thinking about what you would want to have entered into the December newsletter. So that's his request. And let's see what else we have. Okay, next, Keith, KE8TQR, that's Kilo Echo 8 Tango Quebec Romeo, is asking for some possible help for raising his tower on Saturday. So he's good on QRZ there regarding his location and email. So correspond with him if you can help him out. And if you just want to come and observe, which he is saying that's fine with him. If you just want to come and observe and see how it's done, his information is on QRZ there. So he's down there near Killian Road area. If you that's a rough estimate of where he is. But take a look at QRZ, and if you're able to give him a hand there, correspond with him. That's KE8TQR. Kilo.
Repeater, timeout. U, time, repeater, out.
Okay, I timed the repeater out, so I'm going to repeat about KE8TQR. That's Kilo Echo 8 Tango Quebec Romeo. Keith is going to be raising his tower on Saturday. So all his information is good on QRZ.com. So if you can help him out, go on to QRZ, get his email address, and correspond with him. And if you just want to come and observe, which he said is fine with him if you want to come and see how it's done. Take a look there and correspond with him to find out what time he's going to be doing that. That's this Saturday. And if there's a change in plans, then he can let you know by email. That's Kilo Echo 8 Tango Quebec Romeo, Keith. Okay, so let's see, the Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club meeting is next week on Wednesday at both in person and at Pilgrim United Church of Christ at 7:30 p.m. Let's see, so in person, you get to the meeting by going to the parking lot, which is on 2nd Street just south of Broad Boulevard. And then the entrance is off the corner of the parking lot. Again, that's November 13th, 7:30 p.m. And if you're going to attend by Zoom, go to our website, www.cfarc.org, to get the link to the Zoom. Then November 17th, that's Sunday, at the Cuyahoga Falls Library, is a volunteer exam session. If you know anybody that might be interested in taking an exam, let them know. It's a LARO exam, so there's no fee for the test. There would only be the FCC fee that you deal with them. The test starts at 1:30 p.m., so get there early so that you can show your identification and so forth, and make sure that you have your FRN. Then watch your email for a possible clubhouse activity on the 27th of November. And then on the 28th of November, that's Thanksgiving Day, is the Geneseret Home Run for the Homeless. So if you've operated your radio for that event in the past, you may get some correspondence from Artie, N8RKA, about providing operation of your radio this year also. And that event is done before noon, and so you can get home and proceed with your activities for Thanksgiving Day. Now, December 12th, that's a Thursday, is the Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club Christmas dinner. It will be at the New Era Cafe, and watch for a link to log your attendance and how many are going to attend. So I haven't seen that yet, but it may be a few weeks before that shows up. So again, that's on Thursday, December 12th. It's not a Wednesday. It's going to be on Thursday this year. Okay, the 930 net will be on 6 meters on 50.270 megahertz upper sideband. Join us if you have the equipment. That's all that I have in the way of announcements. So this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor with John W8VPV at the mic. Last call for check-ins. Whiskey 8 Victor, Papa Victor, last call for check-ins. Okay, not hearing any. In preparing to close this net, I would like to thank all of you who took the time to join us and check in tonight. Without your participation, there would be no net. This has been John and my calls W8VPV, and it's been my pleasure to host this evening's net. At this time, I will close the net with 17 check-ins counting myself. This is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor closing the net at 9:11 p.m. 7-3.
W8VPV, N8RKA.
N8RKA, go ahead.
John, I've called everybody on that list, and I called one additional to see if he wanted to do it again this year, but I'm going to call him back. And the other two I've called twice and sent out an email, and I haven't got an answer.
Who was that? What's the call sign?
Russ and Greg.
WBAYYS.
Yes, sir. And VYT, I think's what his call sign is.
Oh, Russ. Oh, okay. Okay. Let's see. Russ may be checking into a net tomorrow, and I'll see if he runs Newsline on this repeater here for us, and then Greg is on. We just got off a net with him. He runs a net every Monday evening on the Aries repeater.
Okay.
Okay, let's see. Okay, I'll make a note of that here. Russ and Greg for the home run for the homeless. Hey, do you want me to add your call sign here to this net?
I want to.
Okay, I got you in there, so you're number 18. Thanks for checking in, and have a good evening.
Hey, John. We'll say 7-3 to you, and we'll talk to you later. W8VPV, N8RKA.
Okay, Artie, very good. Thanks for letting me know about that, and I'll contact them, see if they're available for that, and I'll let you know somehow.
All right, John, you got my number, right?
Yeah, I have it.
Okay, just call, leave a message if you get a hold of them or not, or we'll go from there.
Okay, sounds good. Very good, thanks.
Hey, John, we'll say 7-3 to you, N8RKA.
Okay, already 7-3, and this is W8VPV. I'll be clear this frequency.
W8VPV. Repeater. Port link off. W8VPV repeater.
Good evening. Calling all amateur radio operators. Welcome to the Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club Monday night band exploration net. My name is John and my call is W8VPV. However, for the purposes of this net, I'll be using the club call Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor. This is an open directed net. All amateur radio operators are invited and encouraged to check in. You do not have to be a club member. All traffic will go through net control, and since emergency traffic may break in at any time, please leave a brief pause between transmissions. The purpose of this net is to bring together all amateur radio operators for the exchanging of amateur-related ideas and information, to enhance their operating practices, and to keep members up to date about club happenings. This band exploration net meets every Monday at 9:30 p.m. local time, preceded by the VHF-UHF net and Amateur Radio Newsline at 8:01. Look on the calendar to find the band and frequency of the band exploration net. The calendar is on our website at www.cfarc.org, and look for the date, and you'll see the frequency and the band that we will be close to, depending on QRM. When checking in, please keep your call repeated phonetically, followed by your name and your location. Also, let me know if you have any comments or traffic for the net, or if you're checking in and out. I'll start with announcements and then call for officers or members who have items of special interest. I will start with announcements first, and then I'll call for check-ins from officers or members. When all have checked in, I will repeat the announcements, and then I'll give one last call for check-ins and then close the net. Here are the announcements. The next regular meeting of the Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club will be on Wednesday of next week at 7:30 p.m., both on Zoom and in person at 7:30 p.m. In person, it will be at the Pilgrim United Church of Christ that has an address of 130 Broad Boulevard, Cuyahoga Falls. But you get to the meeting by going to the parking lot, which is off of 2nd Street, just south of Broad Boulevard, and then go to the meeting at the door that's off the corner of the parking lot. Again, that's 7:30 p.m. on Wednesday, November 13th. To participate on Zoom, go to our calendar and look for that date, November 13th, and the link for the meeting will be there. Then another activity on Sunday, November 17th, there's a volunteer exam session. The test starts at 1:30 p.m., so get there early and pre-register for that. And if you know anybody that would be interested in taking an exam, let them know that this is occurring, and that they have to pre-register for it and have their FRN. Again, the test starts at 1:30 p.m. Sunday, November 17th. Then watch your correspondence from the club about maybe Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club clubhouse activity on November 27th. Then on Thanksgiving Day in the morning is the Genesaret Home Run for the Homeless. So if you've participated in this in the past, then you may have been contacted by RDN8RKA to find out if you can participate. He informed me that everybody that he contacted, except for 2 people, will be able to participate. So we'll be contacting the other 2 who we haven't heard from yet on that event, and that's done all completed and all that well before noon, so you can continue with your normal Thanksgiving Day activities. Then finally on Thursday, December 12th, is the Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club Christmas dinner at the New Era Cafe. Watch for a sign-up link or whatever. Probably not for a while yet, but keep a watch for that sign-up so that we know how many are planning to attend. Okay, that's all that I have in a way of announcements. So this is Whiskey 8, Victor Papa Victor. Are there any officers or members who have items of special interest to the club? Please call Whiskey 8, Victor Papa Victor. I have one further announcement. Vince, AC8XO, the newsletter editor, maybe I already mentioned it, but it's too late to send in articles for November, but start thinking about what you would want to put in the December newsletter. So send your articles to newsletter editor at cfarc.org. Newsletter editor is one word. Okay, are there any officers or members who have items of interest to the club? Please call Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor. Okay, not hearing any. This is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor asking for check-ins. K8HMS. Go ahead, Steve.
Thanks for running both nets. No changes since last check-in, but wanted to give you a number here on 6 meters. So I'm, what am I? Oh, you know what? I got a 6-meter dipole, but I'm on my big 60-foot long wire. So anyway, okay, back to you, and see you next week, I guess. KHMS.
Yeah, okay, I'll be running the nets next week again, and the band exploration net is on 10 meters next week. Okay, very good. Thanks for checking in. 73, have a good evening and a good week. This is Whiskey 8, Victor Papa Victor, asking for check-ins. K8PU, go ahead, Larry. You have a kind of a big hum there, but It's way lower than the level of your voice. Go ahead.
Oh, that's something. I'll check that out. Yeah, just the same thing as before. Nice fall weather, enjoy that. Not many falls like this that I can remember. It's been so pleasant so long, and very nice. So, it comes on in before long, and like I say, it's dark too early. I'll change my mind on that. Anyways, see you guys next week. Same time, same place, and everybody take care and keep the leaves while you can. And we'll see you next week. W8VPV, Gage here.
Okay, Larry. Yeah, very good. K8BI and I were discussing about the going to daylight saving time all year round, and he looked up and found that that would make the sunrise in Cleveland in December 8:58. The sun wouldn't rise till 8:58 a.m. if we went with daylight saving time all year round. So that's kind of late there. So I guess this here changing, going from daylight saving time to standard time is probably gonna stick around for quite a while. Okay, so thanks for checking in, Larry, 73, and have a good evening and a good week. And maybe I'll see you next week there at the meeting. Okay, this is Whiskey 8, Victor Papa Victor, asking for check-ins.
KA8WTK.
Okay, I got Whiskey 8 Echo Zulu Tango, and there was somebody else in there. Go ahead.
KA8WTK.
Okay, Bill, we'll get back with you. Okay, Frank, W8EZT, go ahead.
Evening, John. Everybody out there. My apologies, I missed the 2-meter net tonight. Been working on leaves and out in the yard all day, and I had to get some shopping in tonight, so didn't get in the house till apparently the net was over. Obviously, one of the big pieces of news is our field day ratings this year. We came in third in the United States in 5A, which is absolutely awesome and a testament to some incredible people doing a great job at field day. So congratulations and thanks to everybody out there who contributed. Excuse me. Otherwise, nothing going on this week at the clubhouse. They're working on the windows starting tomorrow. I don't have any material ready for putting up an antenna Wednesday, but sometime in the very near future, we will have an antenna party. We're going to try to get that wire antenna that we got the ropes up there for. Last week, trying to get that wire antenna pulled, the balun installed, and maybe even get it up on the air and see what's going. And of course, a week from Wednesday, I'll be doing a presentation on antennas, impedance, and an introduction to VNAs, and we'll do an in-depth presentation on vector network analyzers in early January. So that's really about all I've got, John. We'll hand it back to you, see who else is out there. Thanks, W8EZT, back to that.
Yeah, very good, Frank. Those pictures of our activity there, I forwarded that email message to my wife, and she got a kick out of that crescent wrench. Yeah, that was funny about that wrench. Oh, and that reminds me, the reason I bring those crescent wrenches with me is if we would decide at some moment to partially assemble that G7 and but that got me thinking. Rick there mentioned about one breaking off after about 10 years. I wonder if he would remember if it was the stud that broke off, the threaded stud, or what broke off. Was it the part that has that fiberglass sleeve, and it broke above those hex parts of those metal hex parts, or if it broke at that stud? Over.
That was not clear to me, and I'm not sure at this point, but on the other hand, I'm reminded of a professor that used to tell me, before you go ahead and test something, determine how that's going to affect, how the answer is going to affect what you do. And at this point, I don't have any change in what to do, whether it's the stud or the fiberglass. I'm just going to put it up and hope. So it's an interesting question, but I think we just need to push ahead, put it together with what we've got, and send it up there. Apologize for the voice. I'm sitting here hacking and wheezing. I certainly hope I'm not coming down with a cold. But that's really all I've got. We're just going to try to get it up there fairly soon and see how it behaves. Back to that, W8VPV.
Yeah, very good, Frank. Well, I was thinking, we don't want to necessarily torque that thing as hard as we can, just something that's reasonable, that it won't come loose, so the crescent wrenches is what got me thinking about that. So that's the story there. Okay, so yeah, we'll get that thing put together someday, pretty soon. So yeah, I'm not going to be around Saturday. I don't know if you heard Keith, KE8PQR, is going to attempt to raise his power there on Saturday. So he was mentioning on the net, if anybody wants to come and help, or just to come and observe, that all his information is good on QRZ. So that's what went on there. Okay, any comment about that? If not, Frank, I'll go to the next check-in.
Thanks, John. I did get an email or a text from Keith, and I do plan to be down there Saturday about 10. He's down in Uniontown, and see if we can get that antenna in the air. So we'll see how that plays. Go ahead, John. Get back to the net and see who else is out there. Thanks for doing it. W8EZT back to net.
Okay, Frank, thanks. Okay, next on the list is Bill, KA8WTK. Go ahead, Bill, with your comments.
Yeah, W8VPV, KA8WTK. Good evening, John, and everybody else out there. Frank, you sound real good tonight here on 6 meters. This beam I put up there really makes a tremendous difference. And not much new since 2 meters. Just give you a number and remember to vote tomorrow. Back to net, W8VPV, KA8WTK.
Yeah, very good, Bill. Yeah, your signal's way up there. Frank, are you still there? This is Whiskey 8 Victor, Papa Victor.
Yes, I am. Go ahead, John.
We had Bill, NAWS, check into the 2 meter net. And I looked it up on QRZ, he's 45 miles from where I am. And so he's out there, the thing says Wakeman, QRZ says Wakeman, but he always says he's in New London.
Wow, that's great to hear. That's getting close to a distance record for 2 meters then. Very good, John. Appreciate that. W8EZT.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, I figured I'd let you know that. Okay, thanks. So this is Whiskey 8, Victor Papa Victor with John W03X at the mic, asking for check-ins. Whiskey 8, Victor Papa Victor, asking for check-ins. This is the Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club in Cuyahoga Falls, Ohio, asking for check-ins here. This is Whiskey 8, Victor Papa Victor. Well, I'm not hearing any at this time. I'll repeat the announcements here. Okay, so Vince, the newsletter editor, mentioned that it's too late now to enter articles for the November newsletter, but start thinking about what you want to put in the December newsletter. So that's newsletter editor at cfarc.org. Okay, and so the next regular meeting of the Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club will be Wednesday of next week. That's November 13th. And like Frank says, it's going to be about vector network analysis and other such equipment and topics. So that's going to be really interesting, especially since over the years that the price of those analyzers has come way down to where it's practical to have one on hand. Okay, so again, that will be November 13th. If you want to attend in person, it's at the Pilgrim United Church of Christ, which is in Cuyahoga Falls on Broad Boulevard. But you get to the meeting by going to the parking lot, which is on 2nd Street, just south of Broad Boulevard. And again, the meeting starts at 7:30 p.m., both in person and on Zoom. So if you want to participate using Zoom, go to our calendar, which is on www.cfarc.org, and it's on the right side there. Scroll down to November 13th, and the Zoom link will be there. Okay, then on November 17th, that's a Sunday, is a volunteer exam session at the Cuyahoga Falls Library. If you want to take a test there or know somebody that would like to take a test, let them know about it. The test starts at 1:30 p.m., so get there early. And you have to pre-register for it. Go to our website, www.cfarc.org, and click on the word education up in the top there, and that will open up a page that has a yellow bar that you click on to see the dates of the exams, and then also how to register for one. So again, that test is November 17th. That's a Sunday at 1:30 p.m. at the Cuyahoga Falls Library. Let's see here. Then watch your correspondence from the club about maybe a possible clubhouse activity on November 27th. And then November 28th is the Genesaret Home Run for the Homeless. That's early morning, and if you've participated in the past, you will probably be contacted by REN8RKA, and if you would like to participate and you have not in the past, let's see, you could send me an email message at wo3x@hotmail.com, and then I can forward that information to Artie and have him contact you. Again, that's wo3x@hotmail.com. And again, that's Thanksgiving Day morning. Okay, let's see. Then in December 12th is the Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club Christmas dinner. It will be at the New Era Restaurant, and again, that's on a Thursday, not a Wednesday. It's Thursday, December 12th. So watch your news, your email and so forth for a sign-up sheet so that we can tell how many are going to attend. Again, the dinner is on Thursday, December 12th. That's all that I have in the way of announcements. So this is Whiskey 8, Victor Papa Victor, with John, WO3X, at the mic. Last call for check-ins. Whiskey 8, Victor Papa Victor, last call for check-ins. Okay, well, I'm not hearing any, so in preparing to close this net, I would like to thank all of you who took the time to join us and check in tonight. As mentioned earlier, this band exploration net meets every Monday at 9:30 p.m. Next week, the frequency will be on or about 28.360 megahertz, upper sideband. That's on the 10-meter band, 28.360 megahertz at 9:30. Please feel free to check in regularly, even if only for a moment. All comments are welcomed and valuable to us. This has been John, and my call is WO3X, and it's been my pleasure to host this evening's net. At this time, I will close the net and return the frequency to normal customary amateur radio use. This is Whiskey 8, Victor Papa Victor, closing the net at 9:58 p.m. with 5 check-ins, counting myself. 73